So good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Paul Large from WGS Waste Management. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Nick.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Good to see you. Good to see you. So WGS Waste Management are a clinical waste management specialist serving the London and South East areas. But we're going to start off in true Brilliant Businesses style, and Paul's going to tell us about how he came to be doing what he's doing, his story. So take it away, Paul. How did it all happen?
Yeah, so I come from a quality management and production management background, and then moved into sales. It's quite a natural progression for me. So I worked for one of the nationals in the clinical waste field in a sales capacity for sort of 4.5 years. That died of its natural course, really. It was the situation I felt we needed to move on, or I needed to move on, and had an opportunity to go into business with a good friend of mine who set up his own clinical waste company up in Manchester. So did that for a couple of years, and then we just broke away for geographical reasons more than anything else. Probably 2.5 years after that, and WGS Waste Management was born. So it wasn't something that I started to think that was going to happen, but I knew I wanted to work for myself because I knew that I could look after my customers better than some of the companies that I worked for in the past. That's really how it started.
That's it's quite normal that businesses start because they've worked for someone else and feel like they can do a better job and put a bit more love into it.
Absolutely.
It sounds like that's what happened with you.
Absolutely. I think what I found is in the corporate world they want to look after all the big businesses. Yeah. But there's so many other businesses out there that start off somewhere. So as we have. Yeah. So you need to look after the smaller ones and grow with them as they grow. So So it's really is part of our ethos.
Yeah. So you're based locally?
Yeah. So our offices are in Horseman Den. So just on the A21, just the other side of Tunbridge Wells. Okay. So it's ideal, central to where our customer base is.
Okay.
Really.
And you specialise in certain areas of waste management, don't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so our core business, I'll say, 50% of our client base around the dentistry market. Yeah. So dentists, orthodontics, sort of periodontics, all of that ilk, really. So it's something that we're definitely experts in the field at doing. But having said that, the variety of the work that we do, because of the clinical waste industry and how it is, as well as the hygiene industry as well. So anything from feminine hygiene bins to obviously sharps boxes, anywhere where there's a first aid room, then we can help. Okay. So, but our spread ranges from children's day nurseries to schools to private clinics, plastic surgery clinics, garden centres. We've got some garden centres that we look after. Yeah. For some feminine hygiene bins, odour control systems, nappy bins, that sort of thing. And then we've got the more unique ones. So we've got some laboratories that we look after, and some specialist sort of healthcare waste as well. Okay,
the dentist industry, if that's what you call it, is massive, isn't it? How many dentists could you be serving within your area?
Well, I mean, the last time I looked, and if we take out the nationals, then in the catchment that we've got, I mean, there's well over 2,000 independents. Is there? So there's
plenty of them out there.
There's probably as many dentists as there are nail bars. So
it's a good comparison.
So
actually. Yeah. So if there's any obviously dentists out there, please get in touch with Paul, because he does a really, really good job. So the areas that you cover geographically, talk us through that.
Yeah, so we started in Kent. So Kent was our main focus, obviously leading into East Sussex, so where I live. But obviously with our organic growth over the last 8.5 years, then we're not one to turn down opportunities to help people out and obviously grow our business and grow our team. So we now go as far west as Southampton, all over Kent, Sussex, Surrey. We did try and stay south of the Thames, but business has grown as such that we now cover all over London as well. So up into Chiswick, and we've now got an Essex route. So So yeah, we really are starting to cover the whole of the southeast.
Okay, I guess if you get a phone call from someone in Essex, you're going to go, aren't you? And
yeah, absolutely.
You never know what leads on from that.
Absolutely.
So have you got a big team? How does your team work?
Yeah, so we've got a very small team. So there's myself and my wife.
Yeah.
So we're the directors of the business. We have a service manager, which was our wonderful number one, which took a good couple of years to cement that position.
Yeah.
His brother's actually come on board with us. He's been with us about a year or so, and we've just created another role for another technician that's been with us for a couple of weeks now.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's good, and we're always looking for more people to come along that fit in with our small team that we can train and mould to the way that I see that the business should be looked after. So because the people that are out there on the road, they really are the face of the company.
Of course, yeah.
So they're fundamentally important to us.
We were speaking earlier about you as opposed to one of the bigger boys out there, and the way you do things differently as far as, going in and visiting and actually seeing them face to face, whereas they may not. So I guess that's one of the reasons why people should use you rather than one of these bigger guys, because of that personal service, right?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important. So a lot of people now are, obviously, if they're charged with getting quotations for their role within the business that they're from, then they will put it out to market. They'll probably go on Google. They may take the top 3, have a look at it. But how many of those will actually go and do a site survey to go and have a look and find out exactly what the customer's needs are? Yeah, it's beneficial from both their point of view and our point of view, so that we can start to build that relationship up on a face-to-face meeting. Obviously, it's been a little bit tricky over the last couple of years because of the pandemic, etc. But I think now people are more amenable to that personal approach. Yeah. So, but then that carries through all the way through the journey of the phone call in to the sales process to following it through all the way through to the service and the management of that. Yeah.
And so areas that you'd like to get into, you mentioned hotels and stuff like that. Where do you want to go with that?
Yeah, so we naturally provide feminine hygiene waste to all of our dentists as well, because we're there picking up obviously the bags and the sharps, pharmaceuticals and cytotoxic waste. But the hygiene part of our business is really starting to grow. So we've now got our own branded products and odour control systems that go along with that, with our nappy bins and things. So there's a number of other products that we can add on to our services, but it's something that we want to do tentatively, but we want to make sure we're adding. It's such a massive business, such a massive variety of products that you can use and put into these kinds of places, so in the hospitality industry. But we only want to add the right ones for us. Okay. So we need to be thinking of our carbon footprint. We need to be thinking of making sure that everything that we use can be treated and disposed of all the way through, and nothing goes to landfill. So in any product we use. So it's about getting the right products and growing that tentatively, really. Yeah. And then adding it into all the other services that we do. But it's quite exciting.
Yeah, I guess not trying to run before you can walk, kind of a little bit.
Exactly.
Not taking on too much.
Slow, continuous improvement.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, slow, continuous improvement. Good. Yeah. So what about the future? What does the future hold? What's going on?
Yeah, so with the marketing and everything that we're doing now, I'd say it's taken us 8 years to get the foundations right. Yeah. So with the ISO 9001, we're now doing the 14001, so environmental standard. With everything else that we've got involved to make sure that they're almost still the building blocks to literally get the foundations right before you can add on. So, but I think we're at the point now that we're ready to grow a team because the systems are all in place. So it's about marketing to and getting our name out there a little bit more now, so that people are aware of us, so they don't have to go to the brokers or to the large nationals. There are other options for people in the areas that we cover, so which is a pretty vast area.
Yeah, it's visibility for you, isn't it? Being seen amongst the right people so they can use you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's That's really cool. Thanks, Paul. I mean, you've told me, I've learned a lot, and you've told me a lot about the business. If anyone needs any help with waste management in the clinical arena, then please get in touch with Paul. All his details are actually on the Brilliant Businesses website, and they'll be all underneath this podcast. I'm looking forward to playing golf shortly after this with Paul. We're going to be golf, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
How's your game going anyway? Is it right?
We'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah.
Probably better than mine. So thanks very much for joining me. We'll see you again for another podcast soon. Thanks, Paul.
Lovely. Thanks, Nick.
And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. And thanks very much. See you again on another podcast soon.